Good evening, everybody. I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is 6 o'clock on the dot. So, let me just... So, our closed session agenda, we have a few things to report out. The first thing that we're going to, the first thing is a really fun thing, not a fun thing, but a really good thing. I'd like to report out on in our closed session, the Benicia Unified District Board of Education completed its annual evaluation of Superintendent Chris Calabrese. This evaluation was conducted in accordance with our district policy and legal requirements. The board reviewed the superintendent's performance based on agreed-upon district goals, including student achievement, leadership, fiscal management, and board relations. We reviewed extensive evidence and data provided by the superintendent throughout the year. The board wishes to recognize Superintendent Chris Calabrese for exceptional progress in several areas, particularly fiscal responsibility. Superintendent Calabrese immediately formed a budget review committee that included union leadership, teachers, community members, and district staff. He worked diligently to help all stakeholders understand our budget and also how the state funds public education. He was able to balance our budget for the 2026 school year, 2026-2027 school year, Another goal was community engagement. The superintendent has effectively communicated with stakeholders throughout school, through school visits, attendance at community and school events. Superintendent Calabrese has improved transparency and has created opportunities for staff. He is accessible, demonstrates a positive, proactive approach to issues, and is always willing to listen. Overall, Chris is highly personable and professional. His knowledge of governance and education regulations and laws, combined with his open demeanor, allows for an increase in trust and confidence. The Board of Trustees finds that Superintendent Calabrese has performed in a highly effective manner, meeting or exceeding expectations. So we look forward to the coming year with you, Chris. Thank you for your expertise.
Thank you.
Next, I had, okay. It's in my, well, I think I left it, but I can do it. I left my, I don't know what I did with it. So we go on to, no, I must have left it in the other room. Excuse me. I do. So, student matters. In closed session, the board, student discipline and other confidential matters, Education Code Section 35146 and 48915C4. The board took action on a motion by Trustee Maselli and seconded by Trustee Hirsch to approve staff recommendation of expulsion of student 26-030 by the following vote. Ayes 3, noes 0, absent 2, abstained 0. We also took a student discipline and other and Ed Code 35146 and 48915B. the board took action on a motion by trustee Hirsch and seconded by trustee Maselli to approve staff recommendation of expulsion of student number 25-027 by the following vote. Ayes 3, noes 0, absent 2, abstained 0. So, this meeting is recorded for live streaming and archiving in the district YouTube channel. So our student reps, will you lead us in the pledge? So we're going to, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move that we approve the agenda.
Did we make,
Oh.
we need to approve it with the changes. Do
Oh,
you want to,
Sure, so I think we're pulling item number
13,
I.
I.
how about 8?
And then there's a change to 8, right? Right, I'll make the motion with the amendment that the highlight is different. We're not doing the maintenance and operations facilities, correct?
But we are honoring our retirees in the superintendent's report.
And our student board representatives.
Do we
So
wanna-
is there a motion?
I move that we approve the agenda with the noted changes.
And I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed, thank you.
Thank you. And we come to item 8. So Superintendent Calabrese.
Yeah, tonight we want to honor our student board representatives who've done a phenomenal job this year. And so I'll pass it off to you, President, as we hand them some tokens of our appreciation here. We have 4 certificates to present, or 2 that are present tonight. I know the other 2 could not make it.
So Carolyn, pull out.
And then let's do a group picture afterwards.
And Frida Silva Cortez is not here.
We're gonna also take the ones that are absent, so you can give them to them as well.
Oh, okay, good idea. Perseda Sanchez.
Thank you.
Yes, and also, even though they're not here, Isabella Renteria. Thank you all for your service.
You guys want to get a picture?
Let's
get a picture.
shot.
We'll do the functory thing still.
Yes. There you go.
Oh. Thank you.
You guys have done a phenomenal job. I can't say enough about you. Thank you.
Been fantastic. Thank you so much. And we come to our student reports. Oh, yes, student reports.
Good evening, President Grubb, Superintendent Calabrese, fellow trustees, and cabinet members. We celebrated the end of our state testing last week with Field Day, featuring flag football, basketball, bingo, and chalk art. Mr. Nelson's advisory came on top. They earned the honor of Libby, our plushy eagle mascot, in their classroom for the remainder of the year. We have been working with Solano Resource District and their biomonitoring program. Their scientists came to Liberty and provided presentations in a stream of ecological. With them, several students went to Lake Herman and collected data on the health of Lake Herman's ecosystem. Many students went sailing under the Golden Gate Bridge. They sailed out on the tail ship named after Matthew Turner. They contributed experiments and learned how to navigate and observe marine life. We are grateful for the Rotary volunteers and Superintendent Calabrese who contributed and conducted mock interviews and reverse interviews with us. This session really perfected the follow-up to our work on resumes and cover letters, teaching us how to communicate our skills effectively and approach real-world interviews with confidence. Next week, some of us are attending the opera in San Francisco. We are going to see The Barber of Seville. Finally, we want to wish the class of 2026 the very best. We look forward to our graduating on June 4th as we walk across the stage and step into the next chapter of our lives. On behalf of Liberty High School, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Last week at BHS marked the end of stressful AP testing season. Students celebrated before school last Friday with a delicious breakfast hosted by our kitchen staff. Also in the last weeks, we have been celebrating Teacher and Staff Appreciation Weeks, making sure to show the BHS staff how amazing they are. This Tuesday, BHS hosted Senior Awards Night, where countless seniors were recognized for their community service, academic achievement, and scholarships. It was amazing to see all they have accomplished. Our band recently won the Cron 4 contest, where they will play the national anthem for Cron's 4th of July parade. This is a huge deal as over 96,000 votes were cast. We are very excited to be hosting Cron 4 on campus tomorrow. They will be capturing footage of cheer, band, and other students. Additionally, for Mental Health Awareness Month, the Kyle Highland Foundation will be hosting a Chalk About Mental Health tomorrow, and the last improv show will be held at 7 p.m. with the senior send-off. BHS will wrap up the year with Farewell Week next week, with Spirit Days including College Gear, Coachella, Throwback Thursday, and Blue and Gold for the rally. Next Friday night will be the Panther Bowl, where our seniors will play flag football and cheerlead. Finally, we will have finals week and graduation on June 5th. On behalf of BHS, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, and if you would like to stay or maybe go and take care of some senior stuff, be our guest.
Thank you.
And now we come to our superintendent report.
Yeah, before I get started on my slide deck here, I'm going to pass it off to Dr. Jennings to honor our retirees, with the exception of 2 retirees, which I will speak to.
Thank you, Superintendent Calabrese. Good evening, President Grubbs, Board Trustees, and the Benicia community. Tonight, we take a moment to recognize and celebrate the remarkable careers of our retiring educators and staff members. Their dedication, compassion, and commitment have shaped the lives of countless students, families, and colleagues. We are deeply grateful for the lasting impact they have made on our schools and community, and we're honored to celebrate their years of service and achievement. I'm going to change mics so I can move up and call up our wonderful staff and our teachers and staff that are here tonight. Is on. Okay, I'm so short. I had them. Okay, there we go. First up, we have a wonderful student supervision aide from Joe Henderson Elementary School. I'd like to call up Elizabeth Pizzamente. Come on up, Elizabeth. If you have ever been at Joe Henderson Elementary School, you have seen Elizabeth standing out front. She started at Henderson in 2018 and is leaving the Joe Henderson community, and I know that you will be missed. So thank you, and we appreciate all of your years of service to the students and families of Benicia. Next up, we have a teacher that's infamous at Benicia Middle School. She is known typically as the yearbook teacher, and that is Erin O'Leary Montgomery. The never-ending awards. We want to thank Mrs. O'Leary Montgomery for her years of service. She started working at Benicia Middle School in 2001, and so she has been there for 25 years, serving the students and families of Benicia. And she served my own daughter, and I am grateful for her experience and how much you fostered a love of learning, specifically around history. So thank you so much. Next up, we have a special education assistant from Mary Farmer Elementary. I'd like to call up Renee Lori Harry. Come on up. Thank you so much, Renee, for your years of service. You also, I don't know if you've been at Mary Farmer all 25 years, but I know that you started working for the district in 2001 and have dedicated a quarter of a century to the Benicia Unified students. And so we appreciate you and the work that you've done as a special ed assistant. So thank you so much. And the last one that I'm going to do is Renee Lori Harry's partner in crime is Melissa Mickelson. Melissa, come on up. And we are fortunate to have had Melissa join us in 1998, and she has been with the Benicia Unified School District for until now. So we appreciate, and she serves as a resource teacher at Mary Farmer and has done an exceptional job supporting that school site. So thank you so much, Melissa, for your years of service.
Hey, Melissa.
All right, well, next I want to honor Dr. Leslie Beatson. And so from 2012 to 2026, serving the students of Benicia School District. As a principal and as an assistant superintendent, Leslie's been invaluable to me. From day one, our conversations and her always guiding light and being always keeping things student-centered. And so thank you for all that you've done on behalf of the students and all of us here in the Benicia School District. You will be truly missed, and I don't think you'll miss us quite as much in Vermont as we will miss you. And so I wish you all the best, Leslie, and thank you. And so with that. Oh. Did we do a joint shot? It wasn't a joint shot, I didn't even realize. Dr. Pat Jennings, 2024 to 2026 in the Benicia School District as our Assistant Superintendent of HR, but also a community member. You're going to grab your own present? Wow, that is so HR. That is so HR. As a community member, a PTA president, mom in this district, it was very clear that you came in and trust was already built. People already knew your name and your reputation preceded you, and so you were able to dig into the work. The systems that you've put in place, the care that you've given, the support that you have given staff is immeasurable, and so I'm grateful to you, and so thank you, Pat, and congratulations. Yeah, can we get everybody and do a group picture? So congratulations to our retirees. You give all of us hope that someday we will get there too. And so with that, my superintendent's report. So my first slide here, I had the pleasure of going out to Joe Henderson Elementary School for open house. I got to 2 of our elementary schools that night, and what a packed crowd. And so I just love seeing that. I did not know, a 5th grade teacher said to me, you got to make sure you try the food. And I really didn't know what they meant by that. And then I walked into the classroom, and so the students had done state reports and made an item to share. And so I was talking to a young man about Maine and got to try some food items from Maine. There was no lobster, but I didn't discredit him for that. He did a great job. But also the artwork that was on display, and then students were giving presentations, and it was just exceptional. With that, I want to just thank the Panther Band Boosters. What a great car show. I didn't realize I was so much of a gearhead, but going through there, it took me right back to my dad's body shop. And that green Mustang there was my dream car when I was 16, and my father owned it. He owned a 1965 convertible with pony seats. I'm starting to get teary-eyed just thinking about it, and he sold it. So one day it would be mine, I thought. And then our band played, and you know, you close your eyes and you listen to your band, and you think you are at a major university. They are exceptional, and so it was really a great event, and I'm glad that I had no money in my pocket because my wife would have bought about 5 cars that night or that day. And then Robert Semple Elementary School, they had a fundraiser fun run, and it was a huge turnout. Parents supporting them and helping them. I want to thank them all. And then we need to renegotiate this. The teachers and staff, including Principal Christina Moore, took a pie in the face for the greatest fundraisers, and so she wound up smelling like a Dairy Queen in the back room, you know, when things are starting to curdle. And so it's not a fun event. So I feel for you, Principal Moore. I suggested that they do a super soaker in some green water, but next time. But anyways, and then that night we had our Night of the Stars. And so I want you to know that Christina cleaned up nicely and it worked out. But the students loved it, and the participation was huge, and I can't thank the Parents Club there enough for all the support that they gave, and the students had a great time. Next, I just want to accent a few things here at Benicia High School, and the top left-hand corner doesn't look that great, but it does to those of us that knew what it looked like before. And so this is that quad area that got reworked, new concrete, and then these ping pong tables. They're just fantastic. I happened to take that picture when no one was out there, and but I've been by there since, and it's filled, and I see students playing on the ping pong tables, and it's just fantastic. Bottom right there, or right-hand side, is our men's volleyball team that made it to the playoffs, and this is the night that they defeated Berean Christian, and the athleticism, I was just super impressed with them and got sucked right into the game, and it was fantastic. And then, of course, as we already heard, our band. And so they won the Cron 4 News and being able to play for the 4th of July. And so they'll be performing this Friday, as you heard, for that. And so they performed there that day for the Cron 4 Reporter. I think what's amazing about this is, and what I love about this community is that we have a band of 75 students, and Pittsburgh has a band of 250. And this community rallied together and had the most amount of votes that Cron 4 News has ever seen. And I believe it was somewhere over 96,000 votes. And just the way folks rallied together and were sharing it. I understood it was being shared overseas. It was being shared to family members across the United States. I was hitting up my friends personally, a few of them of which their parents graduated from Pittsburgh High, and I said, forget about that. And they voted. And so really appreciative of this community rallying behind our students, and then, but of course, our students. And I want to quote a young man that he got interviewed, and he said, "We are small, but we make a big sound." And I just love that quote. And so super proud of them, and well-deserved. The next slide, I had the privilege of going out to Benicia High School and popping into their staff meeting, and counselors there were presenting about our students, and they do one-on-one meetings with our students at the high school and talk to them about various things. And they collect this data, and so this is about belonging in school climate and then major strengths. And here's some quotes from our students, and it just really struck me. They believe community, friends, and teachers who are really nice, a supportive and welcoming environment with lots of opportunities. It's inclusive. I feel like I belong here. And so that just doesn't happen overnight. That takes the work of a lot of people working together on behalf of students. And so I was incredibly impressed by that and the fact that our counselors meet with each and every student and do these one-on-one meetings. And so the counselors find it incredibly rewarding and get a lot of information out of it to be able to ensure that we're meeting our students' needs. I believe I took this picture at Mary Farmer Elementary School, and it just struck me about how we are educating students about food and nutrition and about waste. And so what goes into a meal and then its carbon footprint, and all of us being conscious of our impact and of what goes into a meal, but also what goes into our daily lives. And so I love that we're educating our students at a young age about the environment. And as an organic farmer, as a father of a daughter who is environmental studies major, I would just really appreciate the work that this is coming from our central kitchen, putting that out there. I happen to be at Joe Henderson, and in walked Benicia Middle School, and so Principal Mark Nelson and his team were presenting to fifth graders about going to the middle school, and I just loved seeing them in action that day. And you know, if you know Mr. Nelson, you know how engaging he is. He got on the students' level. He chatted it up with them. They kidded around, and he eased their concerns about going to the middle school. And so the entire team there just did a great job and answered questions and supported our students. And typically what I want to say is that the transition from elementary to middle school is always harder on the parents than it is for the students. And so I remember that for each of my kids and the trepidation of going to sixth grade. And so I appreciate the work that they're doing here. And then to the side there is pictures of the cakes as we celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week. Nurses recognize our classified staff, our administrators, and so we took some sheet cakes out to each of the sites just to do a small appreciation for all of our employees and what they do on behalf of the students here. I had the pleasure of going out to Mary Farmer Elementary School the other day, and I love this assembly. The Students in Action and PBIS group got up on stage, and they led it, and they started the assembly and reminded the students of why they were there. It was incredibly powerful, and at this moment on the bottom right-hand corner, I get teary-eyed thinking about, this is a young man named Ezekiel, and Ezekiel is not only fluent in Spanish, but he's fluent in English, and so he was being honored that day for his fluency. And so, as Principal Rhonda Fleming said, that it is something that she aspires to in being fluent in 2 languages. And so we honored the students that day that were exiting from as an English language learner and recognizing them for their work. It was just a really well done assembly. I want to thank the staff for that. And then finally, we got to celebrate our Employees of the Year at the Solano County Office of Education put this event on. It was really, really well done, and so we got to honor Ms. Romero and as well as Ms. Barr and the work that they do as our Employees of the Year. So with that, that is my superintendent's report.
Thank you. So now we come to board reports. And first of all, I want to say congratulations to the Benicia High Band and to our community who voted and voted and voted. It was like, it was so close for a while. So thank you for voting. They will be being filmed tomorrow. And also, as Chris mentioned, the Benicia High Car Show was fabulous. It took us a long time to, my partner and I, it took us a long time to go through all the cars, and he was going, look at that gear. It's like, why? And then I want to thank everyone who put on the Night of Stars. It was a great event. It was fun going to Joe Henderson to do the 5th grade debate. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about the, I participated in a CSBA legislative update. And so it turns out that Prop 98 is still being manipulated. The governor is also, the state superintendent of schools, the governor would like to make, to change that. There would still be a state superintendent of schools, but it would be greatly diminished. And to turn that office into a state board of education. Would that help the way public schools are funded in California? Don't know. AB 1631 is, oh, I can't read my own writing. Oh, CSBA is working on AB 1631 for an increase in sub-days from 30 to 60. And I think that would be really very helpful for all public schools. And then I watched the May revise as well. So Prop 98, which is supposed to be our floor of funding in public ed, and it's not. The governor is taking away $3.9 billion from Prop 98. And I think, and Trudy can correct me if I'm wrong, it's about $900 per student in Benicia Unified. Also, the other thing in the governor's May revise was that there was a lot more money that came in. So the governor is proposing that giving schools more money, but it's one-time money. So the one-time money is what happened during COVID, right? And then we had to change everything. People get hired, people get laid off, programs change. So that's what the governor is proposing. And the increase in revenue to California was $16.5 billion. So that's what's, in a real nutshell, I mean, that's just a little bit of what's going on. So, other than that, does anybody else have anything to report?
I do, but thank you for that update. I attended the Solano County School Board Association annual dinner in Fairfield with Superintendent Calabrese. And the Solano CSBA hosted a panel of candidates for state superintendent. They appeared via Zoom. It was very informative. So a big thank you to CSBA for arranging the event and to all the candidates who participated. President Grubbs and I attended Mrs. Thompson's AP research presentation. And this is a terrific opportunity if you're able to go watch the students present. AP research students choose a topic, they design a study, they write a paper, and then they present. And President Grubbs and I were the audience, as well as the other students in the class. The students did a terrific job. It's always really interesting to see the topics that they pick. And I want to thank Ms. Thompson for inviting us and continuing to support our AP research and our AP seminar students. It's a really valuable program. I was able to attend the Joe Henderson 5th grade debate panel, which was awesome. I heard two different sides. Should we let kids use cell phones in classrooms? I was almost convinced that we should, but I'm going to stick to my belief. But they made some really good points, and I just want to thank Joe Henderson and the other schools that do this for having kids argue both sides, especially one side you might not agree with. That's hard to do, and I just think it is so valuable, especially today. To be able to see the other side, and it will only help kids solve complex problems down the line. I was able to attend the Night of the Stars. Great to be with all of our educators, thanking them for the hard work that they do. And last but not least, I attended the Liberty Rotary Oversight Committee. Now, Rotary acts as like a PTA to Liberty. They support Liberty. I heard about the graduation plans. I heard about all of the different activities going on. I heard about how Liberty staff is already planning for next year. Rotary provides such wonderful support to Liberty, I was very pleased to hear Rotary is adopting another school for the next year. I think it's Robert Semple. And they've got all kinds of cool projects, Monarch Butterfly Gardens. I mean, not only the financial support, but the support of the Rotarians themselves. And as Brazeda had mentioned, there was an event where Rotarians came onto campus and practiced interviewing skills, which is so great. So thank you, Rotary, for your continued support of our schools. It's really great to have you and your support.
Moving on, we come to item 10, comments from members of the public. Members of the public may address the board at a regular meeting on any item within the board's jurisdiction. Speaker cards are available at the entrance table. Please note the item you wish to speak to and submit a card to the board secretary. The board president will call all the open session general comments, Government Code Section 54954.3, during the public comment item. Comments for items on the agenda will be called for the specific item. Comments are limited to no more than 3 minutes per speaker, or the board may limit the total time to 20 minutes per item with the timer displayed on the monitors. By law, and this is important, by law, no action can be taken on any item raised during the public comment period, and matters may be referred to staff for placement on future agendas of the governing board, but we cannot respond from the dais. Please be reminded to keep your comments respectful, as students may be watching the board meeting. Thank you. And our first speaker is Jennifer Smith.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Jennifer Smith, and I'm here to speak about the multi-school agreement between Benicia High and Visions in Education. I want to thank Superintendent Calabrese for taking the time to meet with me last week. I appreciated the opportunity to discuss this issue with you directly. So I grew up in this town. I attended Benicia schools. I worked for the district in the past for about 6 years. I have 3 kids, a junior at Benicia High, a sophomore at Visions, and an 8th grader at BMS. I have served on the Joe Henderson PTG in the past and the BMS BAM board. My son Connor has benefited from the multi-school agreement for the last 2 years, playing water polo, soccer, and swimming for BHS. Connor has struggled academically for most of his life, but I've already spoken with Superintendent Calabrese extensively about this journey, so I won't comment on that this evening. One area of Connor's life that has always come naturally is sports. Where Connor struggles academically, he thrives in athletics. Sports at BHS have been both a joy and a lifeline for him. Through his teammates, and especially Coach Keppen, he's gained confidence, connection, and a real sense of belonging. Our family's also fully invested in these programs, timing at swim meets, keeping the books at water polo matches, organizing team events, driving kids to games and meets, and volunteering at fundraisers, because these teams are part of our family too. Water polo and swim have given Connor goals beyond high school. These are sports where participation during the high school season still matter for athletic development and future opportunities. So you can imagine how devastating it was for Connor to learn that he would no longer be able to participate and would lose his junior and senior seasons. I've spoken with BHS, CIF, NCS, and Visions about this process, and while I realize there's complicated history here, I also know that these students haven't done anything wrong. Connor and the other students affected have trained hard, supported their teammates, and represented Benicia High with pride. And now they are facing the consequences of decisions and communication issues that were outside of their control. We had no idea that there were frustrations between BHS and Visions until after a decision had been made. I'm asking BHS and BUSD to reconsider this decision and work toward a solution that allows these students, including Connor, to finish out their high school athletic eligibility. I want to help however I can, and I know this is unconventional, but I gladly volunteer my time to be a bridge of communication between the schools or assist with administrative coordination if that would help move a solution forward. The deadline to file the new agreement is May 31st, 2026, and after that there's a late fee. But I'll note, if funding's an obstacle, I'll volunteer to fundraise for it, because for our son, this agreement has not just been a privilege, but it's been a lifeline. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks to all the supporters here.
Our next speaker is Claire Smith.
Good evening, Superintendent Calabrese and esteemed members of the school board. My name is Claire Smith. I'm a junior at BHS and an active member of the band, the water polo team, and the swim team. I'm here on behalf of my homeschooled brother, Connor, not only as a sister, but as a teammate and as a captain. At BHS, our motto is RISE. Respect, include, support, engage. Respect our teachers, coaches, and fellow students. For athletes, this looks like listening to directions, acting on feedback, and being kind to teammates. I have seen no shortage of respect from Connor over the past 2 seasons. He has been an eager and active player and always gives his best in practice and during games. His fellow teammates count on his good attitude and his encouragement. He's the hype man, and without him, our teams lack the positivity needed when we're down in games. Include students in opportunities, academic and athletic, at BHS and beyond. The BHS water polo and swim teams do this by offering opportunities to participate to anyone with any level of ability, and I mean any level. Because of this policy, Connor has been included, and his inclusion has given him the opportunities to become a better athlete and to build a team. His teammates here today have adopted him as a brother. He has also shown inclusion to others who may be struggling or are having troubles fitting in. He has made the BHS water polo and swim team a more inclusive environment. He has made connections to others that even I struggle to make. Support others socially, emotionally, and academically. For an athlete on a team, it is important that we lift each other up and we offer encouragement. We help each other with problems at school, at home, and at practice. Sports have given Connor a support system he has lacked when he was in the Benicia Unified School System. His teammates have made him feel like he belongs somewhere, and in turn, Connor has supported his teammates. He has been the shoulder to cry on and a voice to laugh with. Connor has created a space where his teammates feel they can be their authentic selves and a space to share their struggles and triumphs. Engage in the community. The BHS water polo and swim teams are a community, a culture, a fellowship. On our teams, we have created friendships that we may never have had if we had joined the team. We become involved in areas of life we would have had nothing to do with before. We fundraise for our programs, we host events, we volunteer, and we have multiple team bondings. Connor has been a part of it all, and it is unfair to cut him out of the community he has created. Connor is all that the RISE motto represents. He has more qualities of RISE than half of the school it supposedly represents. He has created a unique team culture, and without him, our water polo and swim team would fall apart, and we wouldn't have the success we have been experiencing. So look at me, his sister, his friend, and his teammate, and tell me he doesn't belong. Tell his teammates they can't play with him next year because of someone else's mistakes.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dwayne Magno.
Thank you very much. It's hard to follow people who did such a great job. Thank you to all of those who are here, out here, and obviously the board. I know it's a thankless and tireless job, and sometimes issues, problems end up in your area that require some complex and maybe unique solutions. And perhaps this is one of those. I also am here to talk about the multi-school agreement. I am a high school counselor. I work at Camp Lindo High School in Moraga. This is in 6 days, although no one is counting, my 23rd year that I will wrap up. And this is the first time that I have felt compelled to come to a school board and make public comment and address this group. I think there are a lot of people here that feel very strongly. There are more people here than maybe were at my wedding, so it's probably a sign of who I am, perhaps. But I think people feel very strongly about the decision that was made recently. And I don't pretend to know all of the details or the complexities that go into making some really hard decisions. But I do know what it's like to work in education. I do know what it's like to deal with some challenging problems. And the guiding light that I always try to use, which I know many of us who work in education do, is how do we not harm students? How do we do what is best for them? The actions, it sounds like in this situation of perhaps a family, maybe a singular individual, is now impacting negatively those who have done nothing wrong. And in fact, those who have actually done everything right, coming into a program, following the rules, following policies, who are now having something taken away from them kind of mid-game. I understand, again, decisions have to be made, but I also know that we can probably figure out a better solution that maybe addresses the concerns and the problems that have come up without putting students who have done all of the things we've asked for them at a disadvantage. So respectfully, I ask that there be consideration and a decision that is made that does not harm these students. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Connor Smith.
Hello, I'm Connor. I just wanted to say I'm one of the homeschooled athletes, and it is an honor to be able to play sports for Benicia High. I've really enjoyed it and making the connections. I hope you guys can consider making a new agreement with Visions. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. Our next speaker is Brianne Marshall.
All right. Good evening. I'm here to speak on the termination of the multi-school agreement with Benicia High and the student athletes this impacts. I would like to first acknowledge that I understand that these are not BUSD students and that their participation in our athletics is a privilege and not a right. These students, however, are still members of this community. Their families volunteer for the district. They pay taxes here. They donate to programs. They show up to support teams, events, and fundraisers. They help with carpools. Their siblings, cousins, and friends are district students. These are families who are deeply connected to this community and these programs, but for one reason or another, they have found traditional school is not a good fit for their students. My nephew Connor was a district student and left because BUSD failed him. Despite this, our family remains here invested with his siblings and all my children still attending Benicia schools. What is most troubling to me about this situation is not simply the decision itself, but the process and the circumstances under which it happened. A program was removed abruptly with no warning, no conversation, and no opportunity to correct concerns, improve communication, or clarify expectations. From my understanding, there are conflicting accounts between adults. It's a he said, she said situation, and the stories do not align. What is clear, however, is that mistakes were made or poor choices were made, and while the adults debate this, the students are the ones that are carrying out the consequences and their teammates. These students have been positive contributors to their teams. They participate, they work hard, and they add value to the programs they're a part of. Their teammates lose members of their teams. The students lose connection and community and possibly future prospects. All of this happened without any path forward being offered short of these students enrolling with BUSD. And while that may be a viable solution for some students, respectfully, it is not for Connor. If responsiveness from Visions is the concern, then place the burden on the parents. If paperwork or communication is incomplete, bench the student until it's resolved. Let the families be responsible for chasing down what is needed. There are solutions available that do not require completely eliminating participation. With the newly approved athletic director position and parents volunteering to act as liaisons between the programs, it seems like an issue that could be addressed collaboratively and constructively. Please give these student athletes and their families an opportunity to improve the situation before closing the door completely. Our community deserves better, and Connor deserves better. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mateus Brew. Hi, Mateus. It's been a while.
My name is Matthias Brule. I'm here to talk about the multi-school program about Connor. Connor is one of the best members on the Benicia High School water polo team. He has been probably one of the star players in our team for like the past years, and it would hurt me greatly to see him leave. He has helped me a lot, and quite frankly, he has been an amazing friend, and I would be sad to see him go from the team. Thank you.
Thank you. Me too. Zach St. John. Hi, Zach.
Okay, my name's Zach St. John, and I'm speaking on whatever Matthias said. Look, as much as I hate to admit it, like, I really like that guy, like, a lot. Like, he means a lot to me. He means a lot to everyone on the team, and, like, you know, I'd really hate to see him go, and I don't think he should be punished for, I mean, I didn't really have much prepared, so. But I mean, just please reconsider it. He means a lot to me. He means a lot to everyone on the team. I mean, don't take him away from me, please.
Thank you, Zach. And our last speaker is Landon Beta. Logan Beta. Are you sure that's Logan?
That's Logan.
Hi, my name is Logan Beta.
Oh, sorry, Logan.
Don't worry. Unlike some of my other extraordinary teammates, I do have something prepared. Hi, my name is Logan Beta. I am one of the 2025 to 2026 captains for the Benicia High School water polo team. I have participated in Benicia High School water polo and swimming since freshman year, so I've been in it for a while. Throughout my time in the Benicia High School athletics program, I've had the pleasure of playing with a multitude of peers, many of whom were and are dedicated enough to pursue athletics as a career choice into college. As I understand, the board will be making a decision to withhold homeschooled students from participating in high school sports. I cannot in good conscience agree with this position, and seeing as the issue prevailing seems to be an isolated incident, I cannot think of a single reason to suspend homeschooled students from high school sports entirely. Though many of my homeschooled students' peers can participate with peers of their own in their free time, one of the biggest ways that homeschooled students can be engaged and feel like a part of their community is through sports. At a young age, this is fairly easy through programs like Benicia Little League and other programs that engage youth in healthy exercise and team building, but as the youth grow older, the path to participating in sports becomes less clear. And these homeschool students, by and large, start to become disconnected from the peers during their foundational high school experience. It is in this light that I ask the board to closely examine our decision. This impact will do no benefit to any students who are homeschooled and will without a doubt create a cultural disconnect between students attending public schooling and those who pursue unconventional means of education. Seeing students disconnected and one is their most foundational part of their youth will only build consequence, and I hope both me and the members of the board can agree that the exclusion of these students will only lead to a detrimental collapse of the incredible Benicia sports pipeline, which has led to some of the most incredible, respectful, and academically focused athletes in the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Logan. And now we come to item 11, approval of our consent calendar. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call votes unless discussion of items is requested by board members. So, can I have a motion to approve the?
I move that we approve the consent calendar as written.
I'll second.
Thank you.
A roll call vote, President Grubbs,
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch,
Yes.
and Trustee Hassel.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the Rotary Club of Benicia. They made a donation of $8,000 for second and third grade advanced readers. Thank you so much, Rotary, for your generous donation to our young ones, our second and third graders. We appreciate that so much.
We also have some resolutions.
We have resolutions,
too.
yeah.
Yes, we have,
You have three, right?
don't we have H and I? So, approval of 11H is, approval of resolution number 25-26-44, declaration of obsolete property from Benicia High School. That's a separate.
President Grubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And consideration and approval of resolution number 25-26-45, specifications of the election order for consolidated board member elections.
President Grubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
And Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
Pursuant to Education Code, section,
We have J as well.
yes, but I'm on, don't I need to read I out loud? Pursuant, the trustees who are up for reelection, who's,
Oh, I guess you can. I don't know that we have to, but you can.
okay. Pursuant to Ed Code EC Section 5017, the terms of the following three Benicia Unified School District governing board members will expire on December 11th, 2026, and their positions will be up for election in November 3rd, 2026, the general election. Each is for a 4-year term. So Sherry Zeta, Mark Maselli, and, Sherry Zeta is Area 1, Mark Maselli is Area 4, and Amy Hirsch is Area 5. So they will, though 3 seats will be open, and Amy will be running. Okay, so, and then J, approve.
Do you want to mention our candidate forum, just so people know who we're going to be?
Oh, so if you're interested in running for one of the seats in Area 1, 4, or 5, you can come to, we have a candidates forum on June 9th. That is correct. Oh, yay, June 9th. And we will be there to present and offer, answer any questions that you might have. So, June 9th, 6 o'clock? June 9th, 6 o'clock. Okay, so, and then item J. Approval of resolution number 25-26-46, declaration of obsolete instructional materials disposal request for Benicia High School and Liberty High School.
President Grubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
Thank you.
And with that, we come to Superintendent Calabrese.
All right, with that, the board approved our personnel action list E, and it seemed uneventful there, but I want to recognize someone that's on that list because we have that, by them voting yes, we've appointed a new principal of Mary Farmer Elementary School, and that's Dr. Sarah Heidel, and she's here tonight, and so with her family, and so we first off want to congratulate you. I want to talk a little bit about the process. 18 people have applied. We do 2 rounds of interviews. We screened out. We had 7 interviews that day. Sarah was a #1 candidate from that panel 1, went to panel 2, and she was by far a finalist. And so, and then we went for a walk or a conversation together and talked about expectations. And so, super impressed with Sarah's hunger to be a principal, to serve the community of Mary Farmer. She's a parent there, and then her humility. And she talked about what she has learned over the years as an educator, and her intelligence always stands out. And so, and she was student-centered throughout all of that. And so, super honored to see her become a principal at Mary Farmer Elementary School. With that, there's the podium, if you'd like to say a few words and introduce your adorable family here.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, President Grubbs, board trustees, Superintendent Calabrese, and the community. Thank you so much for the confidence you've placed in me to serve as the next principal of Mary Farmer Elementary. I'm truly honored and really excited for this opportunity. It got me thinking about how I got into education and the decision I had to make in attending community college when I realized I needed calculus in order to take organic chemistry, and that meant 4 more semesters at the community college. And I sat back and thought about, what do I really love to do? And I had been coaching track and field for a long time and working with youth, and that led me into education. So over the past 15 years, I've had the privilege of serving students through after-school programs at the elementary level, teaching at the middle school level, and most recently, the past 5 years, as vice principal at Benicia High School. I really want to thank the BHS community, and especially Principal Kleinschmidt, who has served as my mentor and really made me into the leader that I am today. And a huge shout out to Jacob Smith, the other current vice principal, who he and I have been through a year this year, and I couldn't have done it without him. This district really took a chance on me as a brand new administrator coming in fresh out of the classroom, fresh off of COVID, and I'm always grateful for that trust. Thank you again for everything at Mary Farmer and for continuing the legacy that Principal Fleming has already built. And I'm looking forward to continuing that and serving this community with care, collaboration, and commitment. Thank you. Oh, and these are my 2 lovely daughters, Elizabeth, who's a 4th grader in Miss Delorfus's class, and Rebecca, who is in our CDU program with Miss Erica, who I think left, and oh, there she is, who she already pointed out and said, that's Miss Erica. And my husband is traveling, so he couldn't be here, but hopefully he's watching the live stream or will later. And thank you to Miss Bree for helping me tend to my sweet kids tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
There we go.
Aw.
Can we do a picture? Yeah, bring the girls up too. And she's writing her speech.
And Sarah, if you would like to take your sweet ones home, you're welcome to do that. They've been so good. Okay, so now we come to item 12A, Superintendent Calabrese. Oh, it's the first reading of the California School Board Association Board Policies for February 2026 and Human Resource Policies from June 2025 and updates.
That is correct. I turned off my mic too soon, so I apologize. So
That's okay.
it is now, so there we go. So yes, we're moving forward our CSB articles here for your review, and then we'll bring those back to you at the June 11th board meeting for action.
Now we come to item 13, consideration and approval of the adoption of the updated Benicia Unified School District Governance Handbook. Superintendent Calabrese.
Yeah, so trustees, we've gone through a process here over several months of reviewing our handbook and making some updated and some revisions. And so I appreciate your feedback on that. And so that comes before you tonight for approval.
I have a couple of suggestions, I should say. So first of all, thank you for bringing this back. I know it's been some time since we have looked at it, and I'm glad you had a chance to look at it yourself. I was looking at page 10 under, and my suggested edits are really clarifying. I'm thinking of this handbook will be in place for years to come. Maybe there will be updates, maybe not, but I think we should anticipate that it will be here when the rest of us may not be here. So trying to just think ahead on the second protocol on page 10, placing items on the board agenda. I was wondering if we could, first of all, add the board policy. And I found two that apply. I found 9,000 and 9322, and I'll explain where those come in. Actually, 9322 has to do, I think, with agenda placement, and then 9,000 is the role of the board. And I think that this is one thing I think I need clarification on, is how do we place items on the board agenda? What's the process for this? And I think this is a good start. One thing I wanted to suggest is under the superintendent will communicate with the board president, and collaboratively, they will decide whether a request is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. I was thinking we could refer to 9,000, board policy 9,000 for that, to just clarify what is the jurisdiction of the board. And I think 9,000 is the board policy that addresses it. So, like even just adding after subject matter jurisdiction of the board within the meaning of application, within the meaning of board policy 9,000, there's an ed code provision on that too. So I'm just thinking we should tie it to the policy. And the policy cites the ed code provision. And then the other suggested edit I had was in that same area where we're discussing what is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. I think I just want to make sure that we don't violate the ed code or the board policy. So I would suggest adding the word generally. So items generally within the board's discretion include, and then items outside the board's jurisdiction generally include, just because sometimes you can have overlap. So less of a hard line, but recognizing that sometimes the day-to-day operations can become such an issue that it does impact, or it does implicate board jurisdiction. It can. I mean, I get the intent of it is that, we don't need to be, micromanaging every little thing. That's not our role. We have an oversight governance role. But sometimes those day-to-day things do come into the big picture. So just adding some language to soften that a little bit to allow for that possibility. And then the last suggestion I had was on placing an item on the agenda. I wanted to see, there's nothing in here because I've been asked this question, like, how do I get an item on the agenda? And I always say, well, you should, email the superintendent with a copy to the board president and the executive assistant. And then there's some process that takes place, but are we communicating back? Either, yes, we've put it on the agenda, or no, we haven't, and why? Because I know under the ed code, the public has the right to put matters on the agenda. So just clarifying the process of how do we do that? And then what's the decision, and is that decision communicated? That's all. Closing the loop. Yeah. Those are my suggestions. Other than that, I thought it looked great. And I feel like we may have adopted this version or something similar to it. I know we had drafted it a couple years ago. So
No,
anyway.
I think those are good
Yeah.
ideas. Can you clarify what you meant when you said you wanted to add the word generally?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, so right now, the way it reads is the way I read it, it says items within the board's jurisdiction include district-wide policy, student outcomes, fiscal oversight, and long-term planning.
Wait, what page are you on?
Page 10.
Okay.
And then items outside the board's jurisdiction include day-to-day operations, individual personnel matters, student-specific issues, and site-level concerns. And my concern was that might have been too hard of a line, recognizing that, yes, our jurisdiction is big picture. It's not the day-to-day managing of the district. That's the district's role. But just maybe allowing to align it to what I think the intent of our board policy is. So if you look at our board policy 9,000, it's much more, more detailed, and I think it kind of outlines our role a little bit more clearly. and allows for those times when individual issues could become a board issue.
Yeah, no, I
Does that make
agree.
sense?
My goal here on that second bullet was to bring some clarity as to what is the jurisdiction of the board, and it wasn't defined, and so
Yeah.
I think adding generally at the beginning of those two sentences works well.
Yeah, and I think adding a citation to Board Policy 9000 will help, because that's where we set out what our, what the duties of the board are. Yeah. So I just want to make sure we don't exclude any duties that we have.
Okay, so that's not generally, it's more specific.
Yeah, I think this is too specific right now. So that's why I said generally, because then it's like, yeah, generally, this is our purview. There can be times when things outside our purview come into our purview because of their nature. I know it's like mincing words, but I'm just thinking going forward, have this document speak to our board policy, have a reference to the board policy in there, and then maybe just soften that language a little bit to allow for it. But I think this puts, and the intent of this is to have all of us understand what is within our jurisdiction.
Yes.
And especially new board members coming on. And so I just don't want people to think, oh, I can't talk about that when it may be in your jurisdiction. So I don't want to be unnecessarily.
So what would you think about putting the board policy number in there?
Oh, yeah, I think that's a great
Because
idea.
that's,
Yeah. Yeah, and instead of generally, you can say the Board Policy 9000 outlines the board's jurisdiction, and then,
that's-
as it, for example,
that,
I
too.
don't know, just,
So like as outlined in Board
Board
Policy
Policy.
9000.
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's, if we
It
can tie
makes
it
it
back.
clear,
Yeah.
and it gives people a place to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the board policy is a little more comprehensive.
Yes.
I like it.
So do not add the word generally, but reference it back to board policy.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Okay, then we come to,
I think we have to vote on that. So do you
Oh, yes, we do.
do you guys,
is there a motion to approve the adoption of the proposed updated BUSD governance handbook with the addition? Yeah, it is an action item.
You can do it with suggested amendments.
Suggested amendments. So I'll move that we approve the adoption of the proposed updated BUSD governance handbook with the suggested amendments.
Second that.
all those in favor? Aye. Thanks, guys.
And then we come to 13B. Dr. Beatson, you're up.
Good evening, President Grubbs, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Calabrese. I am honored to be here tonight to kind of kick off the next presentation. It is our school plans for student achievement. We bring these to you each year. It is a mandated plan that comes in to you each year. Each school site creates one. It has goals and actions. It has performance data in there, and it's really the plan that drives the work of each school site. They are developed jointly with staff and school site councils, and they're very aligned to our LCAP. And so this plan, the plans that are before you this evening are for next school year. What you will notice, and you will hear in the presentations that our esteemed principals will present in just a moment, is that there's very consistent format and language in these plans because we're a very aligned district. While the implementation may look different across sites, many of the goals are very similar because they are all very aligned with the LCAP and the work of the district. And so with that, I'm doing the clicker here. Oh, what happened here? Here we go. Whoops, I forgot to remove those two slides. My apologies. We can invite the principals to come on up and start the presentation of what is in their school plans. You have the full plan attached. They're going to just give you a quick snapshot. Okay. doesn't sound like it's on. Hold on. No, I think that you need a new.
You know, this is a great opportunity to say, I want to thank Rhonda Fleming for her years of service to Mary Farmer Elementary School. Our principals aren't always here, and so to acknowledge her in front of her colleagues seems very appropriate. I cannot thank you enough for the work that you've done. I enjoy every conversation that we have, and so I wish you well, and I hope you return.
I appreciate all of the support that I've had here from the district, from our school site, from our families, and the inspiration, most importantly, from our students. So just want to highlight, when we look at our progress, where we can build and strengthen. Last school year, you will see that I pointed out some of the growth for our student groups, and our student groups specifically of students that are identified as being Hispanic and Latino, and also for our students identified as 2 or more races. And they made very significant growth in English language arts, which you can see there. And our goal is to continue that growth for each and every student group. And one of the ways that we're going to continue that work, thanks to Dr. Rice, who did a lot of coordination with teachers in lower grades. We have 60% of our teachers at Mary Farmer in grades TK through 2nd that have participated in letters training. That's language essentials for reading and spelling. They have committed to classes on multiple Saturdays with homework throughout the week, and it has been to go deeper in understanding how to build that solid foundation. I can't tell you the shift that I've seen with teachers being able to talk about specifically what student needs and actually using that for targeted small group instruction, and where our students are moving forward. But it is because of that commitment of the teachers and also having that opportunity. We delved into work as a district and as a site around professional learning communities, not a thing, but a way, an approach to our work. And I'm proud that we've laid down that foundation that we are looking at our essential standards. There's a whole lot of standards, but let's really be intentional and focused on what we're working on. And let's make sure that we're looking at data to drive our decisions. And we're doing that as a grade level team and as a school site, because it's how do we move our kids forward. So it's continuing that continuous cycle that needs to happen, and it keeps us as the adults as learners. I also just wanted to briefly talk about the work for social emotional learning and helping to strengthen the sense of belonging. We've had a lot of work throughout the years of using our curriculum. This year, our TK teachers and kindergarten teachers really implemented a check-in process, and that's where our youngest students were actually coaching each other when they had a conflict on how to name their emotions, their feelings, and then the other person has the responsibility of how are you going to repair it. And I can tell you that 98 or 99% of the time, if there's a conflict, all we have to say as a staff to the younger students is, do you need to check in? And they have the language, and they are doing it all on their own. And it really helps with self-management and maintaining friendships, a big deal at the elementary level. So we also are going to continue the work with check-ins. We've seen a lot of progress when we have students that are struggling, whether if it's emotionally, socially, having a trusted adult on campus that they can go to, and that person is like their coach and motivator. And we have seen shifts in that and moving our students forward. So I'm going to end a little bit sooner tonight. The work at Farmer will continue, and it will continue under great leadership of Dr. Heidel and with our team and what has already been built, and it will be a continued focus on learning and growing, not only academically, socially, emotionally, and strengthening that sense of belonging. I wanted to take a moment just to make a quick statement and appreciation of thanks for our retirees. Dr. Jennings, I only had a chance to work with you in person for 2 years, but I watched you via Zoom as a parent of a student in Napa Valley, and I saw how you walked the district through the pandemic. I really appreciate your ethics and how you approach this work, and for reminding us that we are working and we need to focus on humans first. So you will be truly missed. And I'd like to thank Dr. Beatson. She's been my mentor She's been there for me from day one. She's pushed me to maintain the vision. She's pushed me in holding me accountable and always being able to walk with me and to reflect and to allow me to grow as a leader. I don't know many people that can enjoy the kind of conversations that we have about this work in education and actually laugh and mean it. You will be truly missed, and thank you for everything. And that's it.
Good evening, President Grubbs, Superintendent Calabrese, and Board Trustees and community. I appreciate the opportunity to present Joe Henderson's academic, social, emotional, and equity goals for the next school year, 2026-2027. I'm proud to share that the school's moving in a positive direction. During the past school year, we saw gains in both math and English language arts. And our focus moving forward is to continue building upon this momentum across all student groups. One of our primary academic focuses this year has been strengthening our work as a professional learning community through data-driven instructional planning. Teachers regularly analyze student learning data together to create targeted small groups based on student need. Across the classrooms from TK through to 5th grade, students are receiving more targeted instruction in both of these subjects, math and English language arts. And I want to recognize the incredible collaboration and commitment of our teachers and support staff at Joe Henderson to make this work possible. As a staff, because math continues to be an area of strength for our students, we got together as a staff and reflected on the instructional practices that are contributing to the success in math and discussed how to intentionally transfer those strategies into language arts instruction. And then as a result, our site leadership team chose to continue our focus on targeted small group instruction while also emphasizing clear learning targets and supporting students with their own goal setting so that students better understand and take ownership of their learning journey. Equity also remains at the center of our decision making, and as we enter next year, we're designing next year's schedules and instructional systems to intentionally center the needs of our students with disabilities to ensure meaningful access to instruction, intervention, and inclusive learning opportunities throughout the school day. In the area of social emotional learning and school climate, we continue to prioritize a strong sense of belonging for each student, and our student survey data showed positive levels of connectedness across the campus. This year, our new Welcoming Schools Committee helped strengthen collaboration between our school, PTG, and our community through family events, enrichment assemblies, and the return of the Joe Henderson Spelling Bee, and also a very successful talent show that was heartwarming and really celebrated the diversity and the many interests of our students. And finally, our community survey results reflected that families feel students are safe, supported, and cared for at Joe Henderson. Families also shared ideas for building even stronger connections, including events such as a possible Grandparents' Day, Special Persons' Day, or a Family Picnic Day. And we look forward to continuing those conversations with our Welcoming Schools Committee and PTG. So thank you for your continued support of Joe Henderson Elementary, our students, our staff, and our families, and we're really excited about the work ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Calabrese, and our cabinet. I'm proud to be here tonight to discuss Matthew Turner Elementary's SIPSA and the continued progress of our school community. One of our primary goals out of the pandemic was to emerge with stronger systems, greater effectiveness, and improved outcomes for all students. Through stronger communication with families, integration of technology, a focused approach to essential standards, and the use of formative assessments to guide instruction, we've continued to grow as a school community. These efforts have helped us become more connected, focused, and effective in supporting student success. And why am I going back to that time? because it's been a journey, and it's something we should all be proud of as a district. And we're seeing it in our growth with our students. So we all went through that. Our Ed Services Department were amazing. You know, our student services and our school board, battling our way through that. And we're in a great way as a district. Chronic absenteeism, we were able to get down to 6%. And right now, you know, I know the Memorial Day weekend is coming up, but we're under 5%, 4.5% back in the green band. Our suspension rate at this point, we got underneath the 1%, got us up to the blue band. And we finally had that bump up with our ELA achievement from 69% to 76%. And I do credit our new language arts program for that, with our wonders and the work that our Ed Services Department have done to make that you know, really going successfully. Also, our Hispanic student group, 72% proficiency in language arts as well. Talking about math, our 4th to 5th grade cohort increased from 64 to 74%. And the thing to keep in mind is our 5th graders, thinking about when they were kindergartners, so they're 6th graders now, 5th graders last year, they were kindergartners when they went out in March during that pandemic. And we all know 1st grade was, you know, it was a little bumpy for them. They ended up reading at 75% of our students were meeting or exceeding grade level in reading. And that is a testament to everyone and the work that we do as a district. Mathematics achievement, like what we see with that. We've hit that 70% mark for 3 years in a row, which is positive. We want to continue that upward trend in that direction. As we look ahead to the 2026-2027 year, our goals remain focused on both academic achievement and social-emotional well-being. We aim to increase our ELA proficiency from 76 to 78%. Like to say, let's go 80, but you know, we'll just keep it there, bump it up a little bit, and then if we can hit that, then we'll go for the 80s next year. Mathematics proficiency, just that 70% number, trying to get 75%. And it would be awesome. You know, we strive for all of our students to become proficient and exceed expectations there. We also want to keep our strong attendance and positive behavior outcomes going as well. So to support these goals, we will continue strengthening our PLC-driven instruction. It's been awesome doing it this year and having the opportunity to work with the district, work with our teams. Our staff has responded with enthusiasm and effort with that. The targeted small group interventions in the classroom. You go through Matthew Turner, you see all of our teachers doing the small group instruction, really focusing on math this year. Formative assessments are key, our restorative practice, and I'm really looking for our staff to continue to grow in the area of trauma-informed training. It's essential. It allows us to look through a different lens and just approach behavior and some of the challenges that some of our students have with integrity and heart. Our tiered SEL supports through our care team and wellness center have been instrumental in our success. Our resource specialist, Shannon Purcell, that as her alternative evaluation a couple years back. And we meet monthly, every 2 weeks, and we get together and we have a spreadsheet, a Google sheet of students, and we carefully monitor their progress and their growth. And if we need to, you know, add another tier of support, we do that. But that's been excellent. So, and also looking forward to our wellness center. Another thing that came out of our, you know, journey through the pandemic, and it's been essential and so important for our students. So we've emerged stronger, more connected, and deeply focused on student success. And we're looking forward to next year and continuing the growth and just being a part of our great Benicia team that we have here. Thank you, everyone.
Good evening. I'm Christina Moore, and I get the pleasure of following all of those amazing speeches. I get the pleasure of talking a little bit by the seat of my pants because Rebecca Heidel decorated my speech, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. I can adjust. I would like to also take an opportunity to say a few words we don't often get to that's not with a specific topic. I would like to thank Dr. Beatson for her friendship and her guidance throughout the years. We started as partners and teammates as principals, and she seamlessly switched into an incredible leadership role and has really shaped and guided my vision and viewpoints and leadership style, and I am eternally grateful, and I want to thank you for that. Rhonda Fleming, I don't even know where to begin, bittersweet. To see Rhonda Fleming go. She has been such a fierce advocate for students, for her staff, and for the values of her school. She is small but mighty. She is leaving a lasting impression on that school and something that I strive to be. While we're losing an incredible colleague, I am going to gain a friend, and your next journey is going to be immensely grateful for what you're going to bring next. Yeah, for sure. And then I would like to go rogue and just note that I missed my international night, and it's totally fine. I'm honored to be here, and this is incredible to be able to share these things, but we're a packed house. It sounds like our multipurpose room is almost 100 degrees, which is, I'm sorry I stepped out and I was texting during this, but I'm trying to navigate that on the background. So our jobs are never done as principals, I guess. So anyway, all is good. Over 250 people showed up, so we're super excited about that. Okay, focus. I want to thank all of you for this opportunity. When writing my speech, I really had a difficult time trying to pinpoint exactly what it was that is going to allow me to celebrate and report out at all the great strengths and all of the achievement and growth that our school has made. There's so many things, anywhere from our incredibly teacher-led leadership meetings to my robust site council team that's so fierce, the most enjoyable group of humans that are so fiercely focused on doing what's right by kids. It's just been an honor to work with them this year. All of my grade levels working collaboratively, incredible, it's seamless. An incredible office staff, a parent community, a robust parent-teacher group. All of these factors have contributed, including the huge support from our district and especially our curriculum department for working tirelessly to get us some really great curriculum to use. All of those factors have pointed to some really great results up here. And so I'd like you to know that we focused on a strong academic growth, student belonging, high quality instruction. This year we've seen growth in both reading and math achievement, and we continue working toward increasing the percentage of students meeting standards or exceeding through targeted small group instruction, intervention support, and student goal setting. That's something that we have stood by, and we are evolving every year, is teaching the children to set their own goals. You can see on my slide, I color-coded mine just a little bit because I wanted to note that in reading, this is overall, so this is by overall reporting, that we, the students exceeding in reading grew by 2%, the students meeting grew by 3%, and then students below dipped by 6%. And I left that green because that's the dip you want. You want to see that, right? You want to see that margin to decrease. In math, we exceeded by, those students exceeding standard grew by 4%. MET dipped by 2%, but hold on, don't worry because it's red. That's because we saw a dip in those were achieving below standard, hoping that that moved kids from different levels, right? So that's a good red, we'll celebrate that. That margin decreased, that's a good thing. A focus that we will have, so of course we're going to try to increase all of our goals in math and reading by 5%. That's pretty standard for us. But something we're going to focus on this year that's coming up that's a little different, a different group of students. I said SEL and belonging, oh boy, because it's our boys. So we're going to be focusing on our boys. First grade boys, our goal is we'll move them into the green band in the area of reflecting positive feelings about school and readiness for learning. So we're going to do a little deep dive into what's that telling us, that information. And then
on the survey we had this year, our 4th and 5th grade African American boys, our goal is to move them to the green band, reflecting positive attitudes and engagement with their teachers. We're going to dig a little bit and find out what do we need to know and what do we need to do to help move that needle. Sorry, enter your password. Sorry. So beyond academics, Semple's a school built on strong relationships, collaboration, and celebrations, as I highlighted tonight. Families and students experience a quality curriculum, caring teachers, and a campus and culture where students feel connected and supported. And I want to thank you for this opportunity tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Board. President Grubbs, Superintendent Calabrese. Thank you guys for, sorry, Calabrese. I know you don't care how you say it. Dr. Calabrocoli is what I like to call him, because you said we could do that. Again, I want to acknowledge Rhonda. It's been a pleasure working with you these last 3 years and getting to know you and just see how amazing you are with your staff and your community. Just watching you, I've learned so much, and so I want to wish you the best in your next chapter. And Dr. Beatson, Leslie, and Dr. Jennings, Pat, it's been wonderful working with you for the last, Leslie for 3 years, Pat for 2 years. I appreciate you guys putting up with all of my antics and all the phone calls. I'm limited to 5 a day. And now that they're gone, Trudy's going to get them all next week. All right. So we at Benicia Middle School are very proud this year, being recognized as a California Distinguished School for the first time in a long time. And we were, and it takes a village. It's truly a team effort from the staff to the students to the parents to our support staff to our teachers to everyone. Everybody has worked really hard in coming together to really create a sense of belonging over the last 3 years. The big gains that you see up here in our CASP scores in ELA and math for our African American students, we saw gains of 28%, and that's huge. And for CASP and ELA in Hispanic, we saw 14%, and math for Hispanic students, we saw a 28% gain. What has contributed to that, first and foremost, is a sense of belonging on campus. I personally believe that students are not going to perform academically unless they feel that they can come on campus and feel connected and feel welcome and feel safe, feel engaged. And we've worked really hard to create that over the last few years. Secondly, last year we did a lot of goal-setting activities in not only just advisory, but in math and ELA, specifically in math and ELA around our NWEA scores. Our teachers would review the data with their students so they could see the progress they were making, so it creates an intrinsic value with our kiddos. And then lastly, we did a goal-setting activity with our CASP, prior to CASP last year, where students looked at their previous CASP scores and then they set a goal for this year's scores, how they were going to achieve that. And they did an activity in their advisory as well. And on top of that, increased collaboration, using data to drive instruction, and using those best practices to help support kids where they are. So all of those, I believe, really contributed to the success that we've seen the last few years, and we really want to continue that success moving forward. For next year, our goals, again, we focus on 3 main areas. Goal 1 is around sense of belonging. So we really want to focus on kids feeling like they belong on campus. So we're going to look at the California Healthy Kids Survey. We want to increase from 57% to 67% for students feeling connected to school. Additionally, we have our annual stakeholder surveys that we have that are site created as well. So we use that data and the California Healthy Kids Survey. As far as the second goal is around learning and instruction, and we want to continue moving the needle forward. So we want to go from 49% to 54% in ELA, and we're looking to go from 52% to 57% in math as measured by next year's CASP assessments. And then our third goal is all around equity, and again, that we want to look at target our students in subgroups. If they are performing, if those subgroups are below 40% of meeting exceeding the standards, our goal is to increase their achievement by 10%. And we did that last year with our ELA and our Hispanic. So we're hoping to continue the practices that we've been doing to help continue to move the needle forward. So how do we get there with all of this? Well, We have a number of strategies. I don't need to read them all, but these are just a couple that I feel really help contribute to our community and our belonging. The first is celebrating our student achievements and highlighting our school programs. We've instituted Viking rallies the last couple of years, and it's gotten a lot of positive feedback from our students, from our staff, and from our parents, and we're continuing to grow what the rallies look like each year. So we have 4 a year, and we've started acknowledging students at those rallies for the characteristics that they represent. So we created the Viking Way, and the Viking Way is each letter in the word Viking is a value. So we have valued, inspired, kind, impactful, noble, genuine, and supportive. So we really impress upon those students those values in advisory and acknowledge them quarterly at assemblies in front of their peers. We are increasing social media use and really focusing on all positive things that we're seeing in classrooms. Our Viking TV and Eye of the Viking and VIP with the Veeps, those are all programs that highlight the good things happening around campus, and when students see that and they see things that they're doing, they really feel connected to their school. And then, of course, my weekly newsletters that go out that I think maybe 2 or 3 parents read them. Chris, you read them, right? All right, cool. And then as far as we really want to focus in on instruction next year, we are collaborative teams as part of our PLC communities, so we want to continue to push forward with our collaboration in our course-alike teams, really looking at essential standards, creating common assessments around those essential standards, determining what the depth of knowledge is, and we're really going to be focusing on learning targets and the purpose of learning next year, and looking at how our teachers already have learning targets and the purpose of learning in their curriculums and in their standards, but how are we going to tweak those so they're more student-centered so we can help increase performance. And then as far as equity, our equity goal, we began this year looking at Tier 2 interventions and Tier 2 practices, and so we are going to review and communicate our special education continuum of services, procedures, and protocols, and really emphasizing our Tier 1 and Tier 2 instructional practices. We're going to begin looking at we started this year a mentoring program within our advisory, so really targeting kids and seeing where their strengths are, where they need more support, and working in grade level teams to focus on the kid and what strategies that we can use as a team. So if a kid is struggling globally in math, English, science, and history, that team can come together and see what's working for you, how are you reaching that kiddo to see if that can't be applied to other disciplines. And so we're going to start, we're going to create a better structure around that moving forward for next year. We're also going to start having some conversations around grading, around multiple retakes, around zeros versus 50%. Bottoms, and we're going to have those conversations as well to really help focus in on our equity goals. And with that, I think that was it. Thank you.
Mine's not this long. It says I have big font. I've already been teased by it, so here we go. Mark, you gotta lower this. Good evening, everyone. Superintendent Calabrese, President Grubbs, and our esteemed community. Liberty High School goals are not only aligned to the districts, but they're also our WASP priorities, and that's a little different at the high school, that we really do want to make that connection from priorities from the school district, priorities for Liberty High School, and what we're moving forward with our WASC. While data is a universal thread throughout our strategic plan, it's the true power is how we use it. We see and support the whole child and not just understand that they're not just a data point. Our efforts remain focused on ensuring academic growth and maintaining high graduation rates and fostering a strong sense of belonging. One of the data points I would want to point out is that we've cracked a 70 on our sense of belonging under the REACH survey. That is our secret sauce at Liberty High School. And for students to feel comfortable and they feel that they're being seen and being heard, that sense of belonging unlocks what the magic that actually happens in the classroom. I would like to highlight our school-wide increase of growth in meeting and exceeding the NWA ELA by 22 points. And please understand that working with At Promise Youth and the fluidity of our enrollment, that I attribute directly to my teachers. Taking my students no matter if they're coming in August or December or March or April, wherever the student is, my teachers bring them in and get them all caught up, especially targeting those reading skills. Driven by our upward momentum, we will leverage our PLC model to analyze the NWA map data, identify essential standards, and implement UDL strategies that support our unique student needs. By grounding our strategies in both evidence and empathy, we will continue to strive to create a supportive environment where every student feels valued, seen, and empowered, especially to graduate ready for life after high school. Thank you.
Good evening, President Grubbs, trustees, and community. As you may remember, last year Benicia High School completed our WASC accreditation cycle and received a 6-year accreditation status, which was excellent news. The process provided us with clear guidance for our goals and areas of desired improvement with a focus on student learning results. Our school site council and staff used that information aligned with our district's LCAP goals and student data to update our plan. The progress snapshots on the slide provide background for our goals with a clear focus on college and career readiness for every student at Benicia High School. We track our progress in English language arts and math using the NWEA benchmarks, state testing scores for our 11th graders, AP exams, and of course, grades in their core classes. We've also created a predictive model that allows us to gauge our state testing scores in math within 3 points so far over the past few years, based on the 11th graders' current math course of study and their most recent NWEA results. As you know, not all 11th graders choose to take a math or a science class. It's not required that they do. And as a result, this impacts our state test scores. So to address this and work towards our goal of increasing math scores by 10 points and increasing our English scores by 5 points, we're approaching this from a more holistic perspective of college and career readiness, encouraging students to persist in math and science for their own personal goals rather than focusing on minimum graduation requirements. In addition, we're working closely with Stephanie Rice to pilot new curriculum for math and biology in the fall for possible adoption, which we anticipate would have a positive impact on the student learning and test scores as well. This year, along with implementing professional learning communities, we also implemented use of a program called RTI Scheduler for Access Period, and that's provided us with more accountability and increased opportunities for academic intervention and enrichment. This program allows teachers, counselors, and administrators more student-specific academic data in real time and reports on how students are using their access period. Students can schedule appointments with their teachers as needed. Teachers can schedule students to come to their classroom for access to provide additional learning opportunities, and we're able to schedule enrichment activities such as college and career fairs, assemblies, wellness center events, and other options. We continue our goal of providing a safe learning environment where every student feels a sense of belonging. We did a lot on that this year, and so we're really working to keep that sustainable. One of the things was adding Link Crew, a transition program for our incoming 9th graders, because we saw that as our biggest need for that sense of belonging. And we also added a site-based equity committee, thanks largely to the leadership of our Vice Principal, Jacob Smith, who's done a great job with that, to really bring in more voices and more perspectives. Oftentimes, they're looking at data as well alongside of our school site council and giving us, again, another lens, more perspective, so that's been great. I want to just thank our school site council. It's such an amazing group of parents, student representatives. We actually had one that, he's a senior, he was with us all 4 years, so it was kind of an emotional goodbye for him. Rennie, if you're watching. But they do a great job. We dove into our California Healthy Kids Survey results more than ever before. Really did work on our school site survey to make sure that we were capturing the voice of our students and of our staff. And despite some challenges this year, there's been a lot of celebration. So we're looking forward to continuing that work. With that, of course, I have to also, on behalf of my team here of site principal colleagues, just take this opportunity to thank, even if it's briefly, our 2 amazing assistant superintendents, Dr. Leslie Beatson and Dr. Pat Jennings. Unwavering support, dedication, leadership, picking up the phone no matter what crazy thing might be on the other side of that phone call. I have sincerely enjoyed working with both of you, and you will definitely be missed. So thank you so much.
I'm just so proud of the work that these amazing 7 leaders have done, and you've all been on the board long enough to watch the growth at each and every school site, not only as a whole, but within student groups as well. And I'm sure you heard the through line between the work that we're doing, and these amazing leaders just take it and run with it. So thank you very much, and I couldn't be prouder to ask for your support and approval of these 7 plans for student achievement.
Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the school plans for student achievement as presented.
And I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And I'd like to thank all the principals. Thank you so much for all your hard work. I think it's a crazy job, you know? You're just amazing, and I know you work 24/7, so thank you for all your hard work and for putting out all those fires. So you are appreciated. So now we come to item C, 13C, consideration approval of the adoption of curriculum for world languages, Chinese Mandarin 2 for high school. Ms. Rice.
Good evening. I also want to just give a shout out to our principals. Of course, we know this work, but just to hear it all highlighted, building from our elementary up to our high school and seeing all that amazing work that they lead, and so humbly to give the shout outs to their teachers. I'm just really proud to work alongside them, so thank you. All right, I am Stephanie Rice, Director of Education Services, and I am here tonight for your hopeful grammar, vocabulary, and the cultural features. The units, there's 4 units, and similar to the Go Far with Chinese 1, it does start off with looking through the lens of a high school student and their understanding what information for self-introduction and what might interest someone in the lens of being from China. But then they expand with planning events, and they have to give examples of performances from different celebrations in China. They go into exploring historic sites, all through practicing Chinese, writing about it, getting up and giving informational presentations while they're really digging into understanding the Chinese culture. The last unit ends with a day at the Chinese tea farm, and then also they explore just understanding the Chinese culture and how to maintain friendships. And that's just kind of in a gist what's covered there. I know I went into more detail at the beginning of this year when I explained it to you. So if you have further questions, please feel free and I can go into more depth. But I want to turn it over to you for questions.
I will move that we approve the curriculum Go Far with Chinese Level 2.
I'll second.
Take President Grubbs second.
Yes?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we come to 13D, consideration and approval of relinquishment of the general child care and development contract. Mrs. Erica Dudley.
Good evening, Board President and trustees and board members. This proposal is recommending that the board approve the relinquishment of the general child care and development contract, also known as CCTR. CCTR is a state-funded program that is only at Robert Simple Elementary. It provides subsidized full-day, full-year childcare to eligible low-income families. Our program currently serves only 16 families under this contract. And while the contract has supported our child care services in the past, it now presents significant fiscal and programmatic constraints, which limits our ability to effectively serve students and families. So the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, also known as ELOP, has kind of rendered this contract increasingly redundant and misaligned with our current program goals. Although it's been beneficial in the past, the educational and funding landscape has shifted significantly with the introduction of ELOP, and it also offers similar access and greater flexibility to serve our students. The CCTR contract has really strict requirements related to its enrollment, reporting, staffing, fiscal accountability, all of which are extensive and resource intensive, which make it difficult to fully earn the contract amount. The majority of families served under our CCTR contract qualify for our ELOP program. And for the families who do not qualify for the ELOP program, we have alternative support available through a subsidized voucher program through our local resource and referral agency, which is ensuring that continuity of care for those families. We have been working with each of the families individually to give them that personal touch, make sure that they are knowing that their services aren't going to end, and helping them to connect with the program that is best suited for them. We will also be better positioned to offer a more cohesive, equitable, high-quality expanded learning opportunity. Our program at Robert Simple will also be more aligned with the other sites' offerings at Joe Henderson, Mary Farmer, and also Matthew Turner. And so relinquishing this contract is a strategic decision that reflects our commitment to fiscal responsibility, program alignment, and high-quality service.
I have a couple of questions. You said that 16 families were being served. How many kids are being served in the program?
It's about 24, I believe.
So 24. And you said that those kids would go into ELOP, but does ELOP have room?
They are already in the program, so we're just basically transferring them from one contract funding into another. None of the students really know which program they're a part of, and so they're just in
so
the
they're already in ELOP.
They're already in.
So
they're
they have a
basically
spot.
already in our program. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the relinquishment of the general child care and development contract.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we come to item 13E, consideration and approval of the initial sunshine of Benicia Teachers Association and Benicia Unified School District as proposal for the 2026-27 school year. Dr. Jennings.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening, President Grubbs and Board Trustees. Tonight I'm presenting alongside our collective bargaining partner. We have Benicia Teachers Association Bargaining Chair Lisa DeLorfis, who will present their contract reopeners. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Ms. DeLorfis.
Good evening, everyone. So the Benicia Teachers Association hereby submits the following initial proposal for reopeners bargaining with the Benicia Unified School District. BTA believes in maintaining a stellar achievement as one of the highest performing districts in California. Therefore, BTA is opening Article 2, Wages. BTA believes in ensuring the long-term sustainability of staff performance, mitigating burnout, and optimizing core job focus by reducing non-essential or excessive additional duties, thereby supporting employee retention and maintaining high-quality outcomes. Therefore, BTA is opening Article 4, Extra Duty Hours. And BTA believes in continuing to cultivate a system of social, emotional, and physical wellness for employees so that they continue improving practice. Therefore, BTA is opening Article 5, Health and Welfare Benefits. And that is all we are opening. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson DeLorfis. We appreciate the partnership we have with BTA. Also up for your approval is BUSD's proposal to open Article 2, Wages, Article 3, Hours, Article 5, Health and Welfare Benefits, Article 9, Class Size, Article 11, Procedures for Evaluation, and Article 21, which is duration of the collective bargaining agreement between Benicia Unified and the Benicia Teachers Association. So, thank you.
Are there any questions, discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll move that we approve the initial sunshine of Benicia Teachers Association and Benicia Unified School District's proposal for the 2026-27 school year negotiations as presented.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And we come to item 13F, consideration and approval of the adoption of the recommended California School Board, CSBA, board policy. Is that you, Dr. Jennings?
It is. This revised board policy 4113 allows the creation of a committee on assignments, which was presented at the last, presented for review at the last board meeting. The committee on assignments will be able to assess and evaluate a teacher's qualifications to teach an elective courses. To teach elective courses. This policy revision is recommended for your approval.
So I understand that there are two members on that committee.
That is correct.
I was wondering why so few?
That's the minimum number that's required to have the committee exist is 2. So we went with that, just given, time, effort that everyone would have to put into something that's like a once a year activity. We could have more members. It's a once a year.
They only meet once a year?
They only meet, I think they meet twice a year, but the intent is that they would meet if there is a question around a teacher who's teaching an elective class, and if she or he has the qualifications to teach that class. This committee is the one that would decide that. Typically, there's one administrator and one certificated teacher that make up that committee. This item on the agenda is for the board policy, and then you'll see the next item afterwards is for the actual creation of the committee and naming the 2 members of the committee.
Yeah.
So that's why there's 2. That's the minimum number that we're required to have, and just in order to get the committee off the ground, see how it works and functions, and then make adjustments as needed.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Or any discussion, questions?
I move that we approve policy 4113, the CSBA policy.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And then we come to item 13G, consideration and approval of the authorization for a committee on assignments.
Thank you again. Attached to this particular agenda item is the plan for the creation of the committee on assignments, and it identifies the members of the committee, which would be the principal at Benicia Middle School and a teacher, which is identified as the current BTA representative at the site. So it's recommended that the board approve the establishment of a committee on assignments.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
No, but I'll move that we approve the establishment of the Committee on Assignments to authorize certain elective course teaching assignments.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So, Dr. Jennings, you are up again. Item 13H, consideration and approval of clinical practice agreement with Sonoma State University.
This agreement is between Benicia Unified School District and Sonoma State University, and it describes the expectations and responsibilities of each organization in relationship to the programs that are within the College of Education. Students enrolled in Sonoma State, Sonoma State's university's programs will gain experience in public school settings. We ask for the approval of the clinical practice agreement with Sonoma State University.
I'd like, any questions or comments, discussion?
With the clinical practice, is this for teaching?
Yes, Sonoma State moved, typically what you would do, or what they would do is that you would have an MOU for each of the separate programs. So you'd have one for student teaching, for single subject student teaching, one for intern teachers, one for student teaching. So they have moved to a model where they have one MOU that covers all of the clinical practices that are required from the School of Ed. So our school psychologists or school counseling, all of that's covered under one MOU.
That, I was wondering about the psychologist.
Yeah, and whatever programs that are offered at Sonoma State, these, through their College of Education, or School of Education, would be covered with this MOU.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'd like to move to approve the clinical practice agreement with Sonoma State University.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And last but not least, nope, we
Yeah,
are,
we
no, blah, 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 blah. We are at the end of our meeting. Our next regular board meeting is Thursday, June 11th. And thank you all for coming tonight. And we are adjourned.